getting used to doing these shows. We're getting better though. It's getting better. There you are. Hey Tim, can you hear me?
Hi. Can you hear
Hi.
me okay?
Yeah, I hear you and I see you.
I don't even I don't even understand what this is.
So, do you see me?
Yeah, I see you.
Okay, it's just a conversation between you and me. And as people are on the stage, if anybody joins us with a question, I'll read it out and we'll go from there. But otherwise, it's just like you and me having a conversation. And I just introduced you, so
To
um,
no one.
basic to future watchers, right? People
Okay.
see this in the
Okay.
future, so it's kind of like it's being done live. Sebastian's here in the audience, probably laughing at my tech skills, but whatever. And I was just saying how this episode's really about health and happiness, but from a perspective of a life enhancement coach. We're looking at perspectives informing our lives here. So I asked in the fortune cookie, people can post if you have a health question, just request to speak, and we can relay those to Tim. You specialize in health and happiness and life enhancement. So how about you introduce yourself to everybody?
Well, I mean, my name is Tim Tarpley. I I'm like you, I've changed what I call myself a lot. I'm a personal trainer, I'm a life coach, I've been in the health fitness industry for almost 40 years.
Right?
Yeesh. Does my picture look dark on your screen, or does it look okay?
Yeah, you look good. I think you look good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It looks dark on this end, so I didn't know.
Yeah, no, I
But
can
yeah, I
see you.
mean,
You're kind of further away because you're not like up close and personal like I am, but that's all right.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not. Um, guys, I mean, I'm not prepared. What am I? What? Help
So
me,
let me
help
ask
you.
you some questions because I've known you for, I don't know, years now, and I was saying, we've worked together. Um, looking through the ADHD lens. However, there's so much more that you focus on, especially with your clients. You also do business coach. You help businesses get off the ground. You've done, where I would say strategizing, helping people with their businesses and their personal health, which is really so health and happiness can be about your wellness journey. And maybe you could share that because I think that's one of the fascinating stories that you have to share is that you broke your back and you've made a full recovery. That's like huge. Can you share that story?
Yes. I mean, yeah, I've had so many little moments like that I just chalk up as no big deal. Now I think it's a big deal. But
It's a big deal.
yeah, I'm trying to remember. When it happened, I didn't really realize it happened, and I could only go back to what I think caused it. But yes, I broke my back, like a complete break, not just like I hurt it. It's a complete break. L4, L5. I think it was L5 was the actual broken piece, and I just had to. I didn't have insurance, so I sucked it up for about 2, 3 years, and then I finally got really good insurance and I got it fixed. And, the doctor didn't know how I could actually walk because I would lose feeling and control of my leg at times. And so, things are pinched and it was not comfortable, obviously. But yeah, they rebuilt me. And then I was like driving 14 days later. And, it's just one of those things you just got to, like so many doctors around here. So I went all the way to Dallas. It's like an hour away to meet this doctor. But all the doctors around here in Fort Worth were ready to cut tomorrow, but they couldn't tell me about my recovery time. And so they were leaving a lot of information, I felt like. And this doctor in Dallas, he said basically, look, recovery's going to suck. You're going to wonder why you even did this. It's going to be just miserable. And then you'll finally start coming out of that. And he goes, it's in those moments where it's miserable. You can either be a winner or you can be a whiner. It's up to you. And I was like, shit, I'm a winner. You're my guy.
Wow.
And so we just scheduled it and then, went through it and he was right on. I mean, it was horrible for a while. And, like the discomfort of, I didn't understand what pain or discomfort I was feeling because I have this weird ability to just, anything that's uncomfortable or painful, just block it out and just move through it until it gets so bad where I pass out. But I, it was just, it got to the point it was bad. And then I don't know where I was going with it.
No, that's okay. I mean, I do think I was going to say, I know that you have this incredible tolerance for pain. And I think that is one of the things that has helped you be successful, but it's not something that you can teach other people, is it?
I don't think so. No, I mean,
Yeah.
it's more like, and I don't think it comes from like the best place, that like, oh, I can, I don't know. I would a lot of times, especially my past, think this is how I'm going to die is there's going to be something wrong. I'm going to ignore it and then just like fall over dead. So I've lessened my degree of intense acceptance of it, but,
Right.
yeah, it's just one of those things that, it's, I mean, the pain meds really messed me up. So I didn't take any of them, oh yeah. So I didn't understand the pain or discomfort I was feeling after surgery. And it's like those screws that are in your bone are painful. Like that was what was making me hurt. And I didn't realize what it was. And when he explained to me, I was like, oh, and it's just like your bone accepting the hardware that he put in there. It's like, okay,
Right.
that makes more sense. And to me, if I can understand it, then I can navigate it correctly. Like, and I told, I didn't have to go to physical therapy or anything, but I told them, I was like, they would say, don't do this, don't do this. Or they would say, yeah, you can go and do whatever. I'm like, yeah, but I need to know exactly what not to do because I am going to go do everything. And,
Right.
I had to make sure they understood I was very different than most people that came in there. But, one of his other patients was Roger Staubach of the Cowboys way back when, so he had his back done with this guy. So, I mean, he was really good. But anyway, that's me.
Well, so how does that help you with your clients when because I know for a fact, like, okay, just let's say you want to lose weight, right? Some people come to you, they want to get in shape and they want to lose some weight and they want to get more strength and whatever. And they don't have that ability to really have a high tolerance for pain and they start feeling discomfort. Like, how do you coach around that? Because if anybody got a really good takeaway today, I would think that would be a great takeaway.
I mean, I don't think you can teach it at all, other than if anything, like I would have to trick someone into doing more than what they think is possible, and then
Mm,
let them know later. Oh, by the way, you just did this or this, because I don't. Yeah, too many people have the garbage in their head that just makes them stop because they're hurt or uncomfortable, and I'm like, that's not it. But so I don't know that it. I don't know that it really helps me so much because it's just. I think so many people I think so many people around me will not acknowledge pain and then they're seriously injured because they're trying to be tough like me and that's not in their DNA.
so you're talking about working with performance athletes?
I'm just saying like people in general, like even personal training clients, like they don't
Mm,
have that ability to just ignore pain. I mean, there are
no,
a couple
right.
do. Like you either have it or you don't. But I think it also comes from not showing weakness as a child or something like that. Like you didn't want to, you know, like when you're trying to keep up with a older brother or a parent and you don't want to limp in front of them, so you just sucked it up and then you realize, oh, I can do this more. I think that's really kind of what it comes from because everybody feels pain, but how you tolerate it, like so I don't know if I can tell you this story. This is more about pain. This is ridiculous, but in 2003 and 4, when I was training for my first Ironman, would I didn't know I was doing this, but I would grit my teeth when I swim. And so, you're swimming for 2 miles. You're gritting your teeth basically for an hour. And then it was like a couple hours later, I was in a meeting and one of my back teeth just shattered. Like I wasn't eating or drinking. It just like, sheesh, broke. And I'm like,
Oh my,
what the hell? And then it was like the next day, another one broke. And I'm like, what is going on? And then I realized that's what was happening, but I didn't have insurance. And so I had to like try to get it fixed. But I did my Ironman with 2 exposed nerves because the teeth was broke. So I was like, all right, you just got to suck it up. Now that would hurt so bad I would get lightheaded and almost pass out. But I would take those little, like either the baby Oragel or something of like just put it in the sockets to numb it and I'd be fine. Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, like, well, oh my God, like Sunday, I dropped a weight and it fell on my bare foot. My middle toe is like black and blue and it's painful. How it hit the one toe, it's probably broke. How it hit the one toe, I don't know. But I'm like, okay. And I totally forgot about it. I've already bike and ran several times since Sunday. Yesterday, kicking with fins on hurt. I'm like, okay, I can't wear fins or I can't kick, so that's the
Right.
one thing that kept it from hurting. But yeah,
Oh
anyway.
my goodness. Hi Maria. Thanks for joining us. So okay, I just think people listening to this will be like, yeah, then that's not me though. If I don't have a high tolerance for pain, what am I doing?
Yeah.
What am I
Well, that's
doing?
where I'm like, it's not, I would say 90% of the people I deal with, that's not the thing.
Because I
But
don't. I'm just facts. Like I don't have a high tolerance for pain. However, I will say that if I'm running or working out or doing something and I know I have to keep going, I usually can say to myself, just one more minute or just down to the corner or just like I pick a very small
yeah.
milestone. And sometimes, that's beyond what I think I can do at the moment, but that does keep me, it's that carrot that keeps me going at least for a little bit longer.
Well, that's the thing. The evolution of what I've done, like I could give you the perfect workout regimen to do for several months. You lose 100 pounds or whatever, right? Not a problem. But the reason you don't do everything exactly like I write it down is something in your brain that stops you, that puts the brakes on, that, oh, I'll make it up tomorrow, whatever. And so I figured out that if you figure out kind of what makes somebody tick, then it just has to be presented that way. It's almost like,
Yeah.
I don't, it, to me, this love language is a bunch of garbage. Like, oh, my love language is this. Like, that came out of nowhere, right? But that's the same with like exercise, that people accept it differently. Like, oh, I like to be told. And so, yeah, so I think that's
I
the
just
big
want to
part
say
of it.
something
But
though, so that people know, people watching know. Actually, Tim, you're a very sensitive, nice guy.
I really am.
You're making it sound like I'm this beast and I have no pain and I don't have love language. Like, you're going to sell
well, I'm like,
yourself short here.
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, like, I'm literally whatever I need to be in that moment. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm a chameleon in that way. But it's
You're a
also,
Pisces.
if someone says I wanted my goal is to do this, I'm like, okay, whether it's a good goal or a bad goal, I can write it out and go, you got to do these 10 themes, blah blah, and then they're either gonna go, oh, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, it's a horrible goal. You know what I mean? Like, but I think it's if
You
someone's
know what's
committed to it,
wrong? The thing that's wrong is your goal is wrong.
yeah, your head, yeah, because so many people want to do it because someone else at work is doing it, or they're doing it for the wrong reasons or whatever. So a lot of times I'll ask somebody, why do you want to do this? And I just had this new client, and she's training for like some gravel race. And the first thing I asked her, I've known this girl for a long time. First thing I asked her was, why? Like, why do you want to do this? Like, of all the things, why this event? And her answer was pretty good. I don't even remember what it was. It was so good that I just let it go. I didn't have to like go, wait, why? So it was to me legit. And so it's like, okay, now we can move forward. Otherwise, I think in the past I'd be like, all right, give me your money and now let's just see what we can do. Now I'm like, no, you tell me why you really want to do this. And then I know it's even attainable. But
Well,
yeah,
that's nice because if you make people fight to work for with you, I can see their motivation is more inner driven. You're not just taking on anybody because you want the money. Like you're like, I feel that way. I say that all the time. I'm like, I can't want something for you more than you want it for yourself.
Hmm.
If you don't want for yourself, well, I don't know what to tell you. I could help people that want to help themselves. I cannot really help people that are not willing to help themselves, for sure.
Yeah, and it's just like nobody hears the answers to the questions they didn't ask. Like you can't
Yes.
put information on people. It's just like so. I just try to mind my own business and wait for someone to ask, and then sometimes I have to say, "Wait a minute, do you really want the answer, or do you want what you want to hear?" Because you may not like what I have to say, but
Yes. Well, listen, I did put in the comments here if anybody has a question that has to do with health or life enhancement
like
to just
everyone's afraid.
what?
Everyone's afraid right now.
No, they're not afraid. I don't know. It's just, it's kind of a broad question. But just so people understand, you do personal fitness, you help people, you're vegan, you can help people with their diet, you can help answer questions that have to do with personal training, fitness, health, diet, sleep, motivation. Like you're like such a well, that's why I like the title Life Enhancement because, right, it's not just one specific thing. Like all these are areas in your life, especially if you're training for something. And I know you do specialize with a lot of people with marathons and triathlons. And then
Yeah,
you also do business coaching.
yeah, and it's just like it's how my brain thinks. Like I don't understand if when people take marketing or get a marketing degree, if they kind of learn like, oh, these colors stimulate this and this, like things like that. I think are valuable. But like, I had this business the other day, and like people kept parking in front of the dumpster, and they're literally going crazy because then the trash truck would come and they couldn't empty the dumpster because there'd be a car there, right? So they just
Right.
keep moving, and it went a week without the dumpster, and I'm like they put these cones out there. People move the cones and park in there. And I'm like, so I finally said, wait a minute, you're putting cones like out where the back bumper would be. And our brains go, well, there's room right there for my car. So they just move them and then put the car there. I said, if you put something in the middle of the spot or closer to where there's not room, their car's going to stick out. They won't park there. Just, it doesn't
Right.
have to be heavy. It doesn't have to be anything big. And sure enough, they put this big plastic orange thing there that took up the whole width, but they put it in the middle and no one's touched it. The trash guy can move it and empty it, and then no one's moved it since. I'm like,
It's like
it's just
you're an
weird how our brains
efficiency expert. Yes.
kinda. I think I just see things differently. Like I'm just like, yeah, because my brain goes, well, that's the barrier to park there is not that big, so I'm gonna just move one cone and squeeze in, and so
Oh, you know what? That's such a great point though about barriers. Okay, so like if people have barriers to what they want, you just try to identify those and then work with what that is.
I think so. I mean, it's like I have so many tools in my bag that it's like I never know which one I need for somebody till I get to talk to them for a while. And sometimes what I think I'm gonna need is not even close. Like it's wild, but yeah, and it's yeah, it's to me losing weight is like the and I've talked to this before, but like people that say I want to lose weight, that's the worst statement you could say because you always find what you lose. Eventually, like if you lose your keys for a day or so, you're going to find them or you're going to find another
Oh, are you
set.
one of
You know what I
those
mean?
let's release the weight people?
No, you need to gain health, not lose weight. You always lose what you
Oh,
find. So like if you lose your keys right now, you're eventually going to get another set of keys. You're not going to not drive ever again, right? So you're going to
yeah.
find your keys eventually. But if you gain health or gain this, then it's that level up to the next piece part.
I love that. Oh, that just reminds me. Tell everybody about your podcast and your YouTube channel.
Well, that is exactly this information. Level up is it. Tim Tarpley level up, and yeah, it's what I can say. I know, and I'm the worst at uploading regularly. Like I've recorded like 4 different episodes or segments, and they're in the computer. I just have to actually pull them out, load them up, and just I got to do it. I just need time to do it. It's
What's the barrier,
crazy.
man?
I need just time. Like I just need time to just sit here. Like last week would have been ideal because we were kind of iced in here and nobody was going anywhere, and I didn't leave at all. I barely got dressed out of my sleep clothes, left pajamas on all day. But yeah,
But what happened?
I recorded a bunch. Just didn't get to the
Oh,
point
you
the next week,
recorded. I see, but you didn't
and
like
then the
schedule them
world
out.
opened up and we
Gotcha.
got busy again.
Yeah,
And my
yeah.
training's like it's ramped right back up. I'm doing an Ironman in 10 weeks.
So
Isn't that
when is your
crazy?
next event? Tell us that.
10 weeks. It's April 20th, I think.
10 weeks. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
And you were
all right.
like, in Arizona, you were like, I can't believe you're moving for 17 hours. And I'm like, I know. And I'm like, now I got to get right back there again mentally to do it again. And I'm finally getting there. It's nuts.
It's exciting though. I mean, I'm super proud of you. The things you do, I'm amazed by you. I'm proud of you. And I know you're helping people. And that's why I was like, come on the show and let's just talk about what you do. Um, because anybody watching this, just to know you can go from having a broken back to running a triathlon and then teaching other people how to do it. Yeah, you can do that if you want.
What I
All
think,
things
I
are
mean,
possible.
yeah. And it's just like, I think all trainers, we get great ideas. Personal trainers get good ideas from like other trainers. Like Instagram is really good to see somebody doing a movement and you're like, wow, she couldn't do this, but I could have her do this and still be really good. Yeah, we get ideas like that. But I think it's like, you have to almost stop and just realize what's happening or not happening. Go, hold on. And so years ago, I had this client and she's, I don't know, maybe close to 70, now 60 something now. And looking at the numbers, she was doing a half Ironman, whatever. And the numbers of her bike time, she wasn't going to make it. Like looking at what she's done in training, she was way off track, was not going to make it. And so I had her, she was going to ride on the trainer in the room. So it's a controlled environment. And I was like, after you warm up for, and I'm going my memory, I don't know. After warming up for about 30 minutes, then you need to hold this pace as long as you possibly can. If you can't, stop and rest. Hold the pace, stop and rest. And then and I went back in and checked on her after an hour and she's resting, but she's like, I can't do this. I just can't do this. And I finally just snapped. And I was like, don't tell me what you can't do. Tell me what you can do. Can you ride it for an hour? No. Can you ride it if I was like, can you just pedal that hard for 30 seconds? She was like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, then just do that. Like, just give me 30-second bursts. I don't care if you rest an hour. I don't care if it takes 2 days to do this. Just give it all for 30 seconds, and then that 30 seconds will go longer. But it's mentally she's bored, not that she could physically do it. And I was like, that's where you got to focus on what you can do. Then I took that information that I literally pulled out of my thin air brain, and now I've used it for so many things in my life. Like, yeah, the cancer are always there, but you don't have to look at them. But what can you do is more valuable, I think.
That's the better question, man, all the time, right? What are you willing to do? What can you do? What is possible? And people will pick something, and then we know, now you know, that grows. What you focus on
Mm-hmm.
grows. And so if you focus
Yeah.
on your 30 seconds, it'll grow. Yeah, for
I,
sure.
that was my post this morning. Where your thoughts go, your energy flows.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, yeah.
So it's so funny to see you at your new desk and your new studio. What's going on with bringing on guests? Are you bringing on guests sometime soon? Because I'd love to come on your show, but I'm not in Texas.
Oh, I know. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I still don't know how I'm going to do it here. I mean,
Oh, I have an idea.
yeah.
Maybe you put a screen like beside you facing the camera. So it's like I'm there with you. Like I'll look side by side. It's just I'll be on the screen.
But if it's on Zoom, wouldn't that look the same anyway?
Well, I mean, I'm saying like if you're this viewpoint right here that I see is a big
Yeah.
wide screen, and then there's nothing beside. Have you ever seen Alan Brown's show? He does that. He has people like on a TV screen, and he interviews them to the camera as if they're in person, but they're not in person.
Well, that just sounds like a lot more work.
It's a lot more technical equipment.
Yeah, you just click Zoom and go. Like that's the thing is like all this equipment, all this stuff. It's not easy that I can just walk in, turn it on. Then it's the barrier's too great, you know. And so
Yeah, yeah. You
yeah,
need low tech.
I like high tech. I just don't need 10 things to do at once. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I don't need like yeah. So I'm like working on that, but you know,
Okay.
yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
listen.
I just have so many things going on. It's crazy.
Well, if people want to reach out to you, if they think of a health question later and they want to email you or reach out to you, how can they find you?
It's really hard. It's tim@timtarpley.com.
Right. That's it. Tim at
Yeah,
timtarpley.com. Drop
yeah,
him a line,
yeah.
ask him a question, say, I saw you on Jenny's show and I want to ask you, how do I lose 50 pounds?
Oh my God. No, don't do that.
How do I
I,
lift
I
50
get, I
pounds of
get,
weight?
here's what I get all the time. I get people want to ask me how or what they can do to lower their cholesterol without
Oh.
changing their diet or exercise. I'm like, well, let me say these magic beans for $1,400. I'm like,
Yeah,
come
right?
on.
Send them
Yeah.
my
I'm like,
way. I will give them some chance for $1,400. They can do some chance. Kidding. It's like, yeah, you have
I
to
mean,
change your
but
diet and you have to exercise. There's no other way to do it.
yeah. And, you know, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, wait, before we go, I want you to share another story real quick because something that you
Okay.
have done, which is, in my level up group, is when we talk about abundance, right? And you did that 21 days
Still doing
meditation.
it.
I know you've done it for over a year now. You've had so much money come in and opportunities and all kinds of things. Can you share what that experience is about? Because, some people, especially with ADHD, think they can't meditate. And I'm like, yeah, you can. You gotta find something that works for you.
Well, I mean, so yeah. So years ago, I'll even go further back. So years ago, I'll say it's 2019, the beginning of 2019, basically. Anyway, around that time, I lost everything financially. Having a really hard time even finding a job. You know, I didn't even have credit cards at the time, and I was like, okay, I just had to stop and just use the what can I do thing. And I was like, I'm not supposed to be here at this ground level. I'm supposed to be up here where these millionaires are. What do they all do that I can do? And I realized, they all get up really early. They all meditate. All of that is free, but I didn't really know what meditation meant. And then I saw a thing with Emily Fletcher she's one of the Mind Valley people, she had a program and it was like $230. I had maybe 300 and I spent it all on that. And I was like, okay, this is changing. It changed me a lot. Really learned a lot. And then, yeah, people say they can't do it. They've just never tried effectively, and, so I did that like completely. And I really started to feel more peace just in my body and my life. And then, it was like a while later, I'm kind of figuring things out. And then I saw where this girl on YouTube did the 21-day meditation challenge, Deepak Chopra. And I was like, well, it can't hurt. It's free. It's on Spotify. It's everywhere. And so I did that. And I remember like day 18 or something. And I used to get like really worried about whether when someone reached out about possible hiring me, I'd be really worried about them coming through because they need the money. And then I'm like, I just don't care anymore. And it was like day 18 of the 21-day challenge. I got Venmoed like $30,000. And I was like, well, whether it's related or not, it doesn't matter because it's free meditation I was doing. And so I just kept doing it. And so I did all of 2022, every single day, maybe 3 days I didn't meditate.
Right.
Even the day of the Ironman, when I got up at 2 o'clock in the morning, I still did my normal meditation, whatever day it was. But I did all of 2022 doing the 21 day, and I just kept restarting it over and over and over. And then this year I waited about 5 days or so, and I did some other ones. I'm like, no, that one just makes me feel better. And so
Yep.
I still did that one. Like today was like day 16 for I don't even know how many times. And so I still keep doing it, but now it's ridiculous. So, you had us watch that, the YouTube with Danica and Dr. Joe Dispenza.
Yes.
Well, then like a lot of times if I can't just fully explain it to somebody else, that means I don't know it well enough. So I watched that exact YouTube video, I think 5 more times at least. And then so I started doing that. So now I do my 21 day, meditation abundance challenge every morning when I first get up. And then I do another one, the, heart coherence one. I do the heart
Yes.
coherence meditation 3 times throughout the day, in addition to the 21 day. So I have 4 meditations now that I schedule throughout the day.
Yes.
And it's just amazing. But like, it's just kind of, it's like, as you're about to say stuff, you realize, okay, I'm about to be labeled as a nut or a crazy person because the context could be missed if somebody just came in or something, but it's like, so when I'm going to bed doing the meditation, what I'm doing is trying to heal my body from like here up. And so like I start at the top, like my eyes, I just keep going all the way through and I try to just kind of heal my body. And, it's wild, but I was like, yeah, one of these days it's going to be really cool. I'm just going to get out of bed and I'm going to forget to put on my glasses and see everything. I'm going to be like 2 hours into my day. I'm like, oh shit, I put on my glasses. Like my vision's fixed. It's like that kind of thing. And, it's like, it's, I don't know. You gotta, like we don't like those fake it till you make it. You don't like all that stuff, but that's kind of really what it all is. Just believing in that future, daydreaming, like going somewhere else and believing that, and you just do it so much. You're like, well, this is my new reality. I can't believe I even believe the other garbage, and so.
You choose your reality to such an extent, and people who think that they don't are just stuck they've bought hook, line, and sinker into one viewpoint, right? And I get it. Like, it's hard to see other perspectives, especially for yourself I always say this, like, people will say to me, no, Jenny, it's not my belief, it's the truth. And I'm like, oh, yes, I understand. I understand what you're saying. However, that's not a helpful thought. That's not helpful. And you have to play more in the space of the pretend until you all of a sudden get a little, like you said. Then when I got the $3,000 in my account, I went, oh. And then you were like, okay, something's working. I don't know how or why. It doesn't even matter. And you start to feel better and you do start to see other results and you do step into it like a future self. But you do the stepping into before you actually see the stuff. And that's the thing that I know sounds totally woo-woo, but I've experienced it, you've experienced it, and we're here to share with you guys today. Yeah, that's it.
But
Yeah,
it's
it's
just
not
so
that
wild.
bro energy of fake it till you make it. It's not exactly that. It is like just kind of buy into the vision.
Yeah. But it can be that for that kind of person. You know what I mean? Like
Oh
if
yeah,
that's
it
that
can be,
person,
but I know. But I don't think those kind of people watch me.
I, that's the thing is, who knows? You know what I mean?
I
Like
know.
I have
I
people come
know.
up to
I
me
know. But I
all
will
the
say
time.
most people that watch me have some sensitivities and they just aren't down for this rah
Yeah.
rah. I'm
But it's
chill.
like I did this Tony Robbins, I don't remember what it's called. Oh, Get the Edge in Your Life thing. Like in 98 or 99, I did that program. And it's
Yeah.
like a lot of it didn't really stick with me or make sense, but it was like one thing did, like he believed in moving, and when you're moving, you just start thinking of, I don't know, changing your state. You elevate it up, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of people couldn't really get that. And I'm like, if you just think about if we both went to the store, we did a lottery ticket, and we won $100 million, yeah, you're gonna pay off all your bills, buy family stuff, like you're gonna do that stuff. But then what else cool are you gonna do with it? And it's like, wouldn't it be cool to like stand at a drive-through and just like pay for everybody that comes through? Like that would make you feel good. As you know what I mean? As you start talking about things like that, your state and your energy starts coming up. And I'm like, that's kind of the same thing, but just a different flavor. It's like it's
And you
all,
can do that now. I do
yeah.
that all the time. I mean, you can do that. You don't break the bank doing that.
Well, and that's the thing. To get to this point, it can be the fake it till you make it. It can be this. It can be, there's so many ways to get there. You're like, oh, yeah. And it's just when that one makes sense, you got to just jump on and go as fast as hard as you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm just asking one more time, guys. Anybody have a question for Tim before we wrap it up? Um, I see we've got Woody. We've had a couple people popping in and out. And Tim, I adore you. I love you, and I want you to come back sometime.
Well,
I just
I
can
honestly,
talk to you all the time.
unlike myself, I did not understand what this was, what was happening. You know what I mean? I
You
thought it
didn't
was like
understand
YouTube or
Fireside
Zoom.
Chat?
No, because it's just iPhone only, and I don't have iPhone, and my Mac didn't let me download it. We just like allowed you to do it. So I
Yes, that's
felt
why I was like, just take this link and put it in a browser because it's a new feature they have.
I felt a fool. I say,
Well, listen, that's why I said this whole past month has been kind of a soft launch as me and guests come on here and kind of play with the tech. I really appreciate people stopping in and checking it out. And we will be back with more. But in the meanwhile, definitely check out Tim's podcast, Level Up, and on Spotify and his YouTube channel. Is that also called Level Up?
yeah,
Okay, all right.
the
Yeah,
YouTube, yeah,
yeah. And I will see you. I will see you on in the group and on the interwebs and everywhere we see each other.
yeah. I don't know how to leave, so I guess you got to kick me out of here.
I'm gonna end the show. All right.